Hey everyone, and welcome back to Living on Blockchain, the podcast where we explore not just what's happening in Web3, but why it matters. Today's deep dive is about something foundational, something that almost every decentralized application, DAO, or an on chain community struggles with: identity. And not just any identity system, but one that might just solve the Web3 version of the passport problem without using your iris, fingerprint, or an official ID, perhaps. We are talking about Humanity Protocol. So, what is Humanity Protocol? Humanity Protocol officially launched its mainnet on the 8th of August in 2025, and it's already generating buzz for good reason. Here's the core pitch: it's privacy first identity network powered by zkTLS, or Zero Knowledge Transport Layer Security. Quite a mouthful. But let's break it down a little bit. So let's talk a little about the problem. The problem is that identity in Web3 is, for the lack of a better word, broken. Let's be honest. Identity Web3 is still very, very chaotic, right? One wallet is equal to one identity does not work. There are many people with multiple wallets, people use temporary wallets. Cyber attacks are rampant, right? Reputations don't just carry apps, and verification methods are either way too invasive, like Worldcoin's iris scan, or super centralized, like using Twitter or verifying your wallet. We've been stuck choosing between privacy and verification. Humanity Protocol says, what if you didn't have to choose one? So, how it works? Basically, that is where the mouthful comes in. zkTLS. Now, TLS, the thing your browser uses to secure connections, already contains a lot of verifiable signed data. Humanity Protocol uses zero knowledge cryptography to prove things like whether this wallet controls an email address that passed a TLS handshake with Gmail, whether this wallet was used on an airline website that links to a frequent flyer program, this person logs in from one device consistently, and not a Sybil farm of like 50 odd bots. But crucially, none of that personal information is ever revealed. Only the proof, not the data. Just how zero knowledge works. Why it matters? So this is huge, right? Because it allows for reputation bridging from Web 2 to Web 3, Sybil resistance without biometrics. It creates a layer of composability for decentralized applications that want civil resistance, voting fairness, or tiered access, perhaps. Imagine being able to prove that you're a long-time Spotify user without ever linking your Spotify account. That is the power of zkTLS. And in a world that is rightfully wary of biometric surveillance, this is a massive, massive shift. So, how it compares to perhaps a Worldcoin, right? Worldcoin wants your iris details. Bright ID needs you to attend trust circles. Gitcoin passport still relies on centralized authentication data. Humanity Protocol is passive, it is non invasive, and it is cryptographic. It flips the model on its head. So let's talk a little about the backers and the ecosystem itself. So this isn't some overnight GitHub project. It's backed by names like Jump Crypto, Pantera Capital, and others who've been on infrastructure overhype, so to say. The use cases are growing too. Everything from Sybil-resistant airdrops to anonymous access control in DAOs, soul-bound attestations without centralization. There are some questions still worth asking because no protocol is perfect, right? We are all a work in progress. So, some things that I am personally looking out and watching for: will adoption be fast enough without forcing KYC like flows? Can zkTLS remain resistant to spoofing at scale? Will governments co opt this as a bridge to CBDCs or surveillance light? The answers aren't clear yet, but the architecture is very, very promising. So in Web3, trustlessness is a feature, but trust is still necessary, especially when humans are involved. Humanity Protocol feels like a step forward, verifiable humanity without sacrificing privacy, and that is a very big deal. I'll be watching closely and maybe inviting one of the founders on the show soon. In the meantime, if you're building anything that needs Sybil resistance, reputational proof, or Web2 to Web3 credential bridging, you might want to take a closer look. Thank you for tuning in to this solo deep dive. If this sparked a thought or made you curious, share it, tag a friend, or drop your reflections on Twitter or LinkedIn. And if you're building something that deserves the spotlight, my DMs are always open. Until next time, stay curious, stay sovereign, and keep living on blockchain.